Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, Russia's under attack. If any of you seen the story, apologize about my voice. I've been fighting a cold. Probably gonna die from COVID, but you wish you got that poke now. No, it's just a cold, and I'm not a pussy. So, I'm just dealing with it. But Anastasia Lenna, I believe, is her name. Former Miss Ukraine. There's stories all over showing her with her gun and her goggles and her glasses with a story about former beauty pageant winner gives up the glamorous life and joins the front lines. She herself, so no disrespect to Anastasia, has come forward, said, "That is a picture of me with an airsoft rifle, having fun with my friends. I am no soldier. I fled, like everyone else." But this is the story they're pushing, and it just goes to show you what I'm talking about. History is literally being rewritten before your eyes. The same people that say Joe Rogan is spreading misinformation is pushing this narrative. Right now, half of Ukraine, the ones with the dongs, are staying and fighting for their homeland. The half with the axe wounds are fleeing, and they will only return if the ones with the dongs don't die and are victorious. And what's the press doing? Well, let's give the courage of the half that stayed and give the credit to it over to the half that fled. Because that's a powerful message. That's the message we need, right? So they are literally trying to rewrite history before your eyes. It's like I said. It's I mentioned before my feminist friend who we were discussing, and I said, when all the women's right to equal work and everything, it was only going on in the city for office jobs. Mining towns, which are awful back then, paid in chits. You were essentially a slave. You could only use the chits at a mining-owned store. Prices were inflated. Deaths were common. Injuries were more common. There was no fight for equality there. No marching there. A man would die in a tunnel collapse, which is very common. His wife didn't run off to work. She sent her 12-year-old son off in her husband's place. This has always been the role. No matter what they are. There's no more, we can do what the men can do in Ukraine. They're gone. But the press will still say they're fighting bravely. So anyway, she countered after I pointed out there was no feminists in the mining towns back when occupational hazards were high. And that was when she said, oh, women wanted to, Dusty, but there was resistance. They wouldn't let us. The first woman miner was killed by her male coworkers, murdered even. So I Googled it. Let's see. No, her name was Diana Baldwin. Yes, I looked that up. She died from lupus. They try to lie to you. The press pushes the narrative so much, lying to get their point across, that the people who support it and want to believe these lies feel permission to lie on their own. Like, oh, it's okay. The people I want to believe are lying. I will lie too to get my point across, right? Of course, there's a funny thing called the internet. It's all the rave the days with the kids. Excuse me, God, my voice sounds horrible. It feels worse than it sounds too. All right, this is not easy right now. But yeah, so call her on it, and I mean, we see this, and again, why do I bring up social commentary? Why do I bring up movies, games, comics, that etc.? Because television, because that's where it starts. We let's face it, we're a soft society. Except for our veterans, there's nobody here that knows about war, except maybe immigrants that escaped it, right? So this is why they always push it. Lily Singh is a perfect example. There's a reason why her title of being the first gets longer and longer. I'm the first woman with a TV show. Well, some people thought it was Joan Rivers, 1986, but no, it was actually a woman named, where is it? Faye Emerson, 1949. 1949 was the first time we had a show hosted by a woman. Oh, well, I'm the first non-white woman. That was Oprah, 1986. Well, I'm the first non-white woman with a late night show. No, that was Monique in 2009, followed by Wanda Sykes in 2010. Monique also made the movie Fat Girls. Fat girls struggling to find love, not with fat men, but with buff dudes. And this was, and and wrote the book Skinny Women Are Evil. She was all about, but 20 years before it was popular, Monique was already body shaming women that aren't at risk of diabetes and heart failure. She was already saying, making movies that, oh, yeah, men definitely 8-pack. That gives me some serious ladywood. Me being fat though, he needs to lower his standards. Way before it was cool. That's why Lily Singh now is like, okay, excuse me. Okay, well, I'm the first non-binary, bisexual, Capricorn, O positive, shoe size 7, Indian woman that acts black, does a stupid little dance every time a joke fails, which is 80 times an episode. Maybe that's because the only people still watching late night TV are in the Midwest, where it's just mostly boring, straight, cis white men, and all your jokes are, it sucks to be you, white man. I know you hate seeing this non-white woman. Did I mention I'm bisexual? You guys are always bringing up I'm bisexual, she says for the 19th time, the episode. Me, I'm not straight. Isn't that funny? Yeah, so that's why they have to keep doing it. And it's found in the movies. Well, Brie Larson was very proud of that. I'm the first woman to be in a superhero movie. Not quite. Gal Gadot beat you the year before with Wonder Woman. And in, 2016, Suicide Squad. Yeah, it was a group movie, but that was very much Harley Quinn's movie. That was Harley Quinn's movie before she had her own movie. Kick-Ass, 2010. That was Hit Girl's movie. Come on. And Hit Girl was awesome. 2005, Elektra. 1995, Tank Girl. 2004, Catwoman. 1984, Superwoman. How about just female-led action movies? I don't know. You got Assassin. You got Fry Reed, Lucy, Hannah, Haywire. This is all pre-2016, by the way. And I'll get to that in a minute. Why? Haywire, which is fucking awesome. Gina Carano, kicking ass. Aliens. Eon Flux, Ultraviolet. In fact, anything with Charlize Theron and Mila Jovovich, the entire Resident Evil series. Salt, which sucks. But hey, that's subjective opinion. Awarded. If you like it, go for it. Point of No Return. Long Kiss Goodnight, Columbiana, The Brave One, which is a remake of Death Wish. Shot for shot. But instead of big macho mustache Charles Bronson, you had, 4'6" Jodie Foster. The Net, Red Eye, Double Jeopardy, Assassin Next Door, I Spit on Your Grave, Domino, Foxy Brown, in fact, anything with Pam Grier. She's been kicking ass since the 70s. Long before Tessa Thompson was even a twinkle in her father's eye. Run, Lola, Run, G.I. Jane. Whatever. Okay, well, fine. So women have been in movies, Dusty. But not black people. Black Panther, that's the first superhero movie ever, except, no, it wasn't. 93, Meteor Man. Okay, that sucked. 94, Blank Man. Satire, but that's a funny movie. Check it out. 97, that was a good year for black superheroes. You had Spawn, which was cool. Graphics, weren't that great at the time, but hey, they were doing what they could with what they got. What they had. Steel, 97. Okay, I never saw it. Looked kind of cheesy. But fucking Blade. Blade, 97. So don't even say, well, it's the first Marvel. No, Blade. Blade's also the first R-rated movie. Sorry, Deadpool. It's the first superhero movie with curse words. Go fuck yourself. Fuck me. You fuck this. Oh, yeah. Awesome. And, okay, well, Dusty is the first movie with a black director. That was Blade 2, 2000. Catwoman, 2004. Hancock, 2008 with Will Smith. Give me a break. Before that, what was it? Rosewood, Man on Fire. In fact, anything with Denzel. Equalizer, 1 and 2. We Are the Night, Enemy of the State, New Jack City, Paid in Full, Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3, Training Day, again, Denzel, Dead Presidents, Cleopatra Jones, Pam Grier again, The Black Six, Escape from Devil's Island. So, no, it wasn't. In fact, so, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033, 2034, 2035, 2036, 2037, 2038, 2039, 2040, 2041, 2042, 2043, 2044, 2045, 2046, 2047, 2048, 2049, 2050, 2051, 2052, 2053, 2054, 2055, 2056, 2057, 2058, 2059, 2060, 2061, 2062, 2063, 2064, 2065, 2066, 2067, 2068, 2069, 2070, 2071, 2072, 2073, 2074, 2075, 2076, 2077, 2078, 2079, 2080, 2081, 2082, 2083, 2084, 2085, 2086, 2087, 2088, 2089, 2090, 2091, 2092, 2093, 2094, 2095, 2096, 2097, 2098, 2099, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, the only reason I want to bring up that I brought up, these are all pre-2016. I made sure to look up a pre-2016. Some of those I knew, some I didn't, because there was a journalist just recently, a month or two ago, no longer than that, who was shocked. An actual journalist who gets paid to do what I'm doing now, to tell you now, and review movies and stuff and tell you about the history of Hollywood, just admitted they were surprised that movies had diversity in the 80s. Really. Lethal Weapon, white cop, black cop, partners. The black man had a family, so he actually outnumbered the white people. The main black characters outnumbered the white people. Beverly Hills Cop, all the white people are squares, man. Axel Foley's got to show them what's up. Freaking Predator, the first one. 2 white dudes, first 2 killed. 2 black dudes, a Hispanic dude, a Native American, all led by an immigrant. Predator 2, team of 4 cops. The leader's a black guy. His 2 subordinates, Hispanic. The new guy, white. He dies. And they're surprised by all this. A journalist whose job it is to know this shit admitted, I was surprised. It turns out I didn't know anything. Which goes back to my first point about Anastasia. Not only is it the agenda of the press to push a false narrative and rewrite history, but literally, imagine you go in to be a journalist. It's your job to know history, to know events around the world, and your qualifications were, I don't know anything about the world that happened pre-2016. Okay? I get my news from BuzzFeed. I thought when they did the white nationalist get-together last year, there was going to be 50 million. I thought that's how many were living in America. Everybody's a Yahtzee, a bad guy from World War II, needs a carving from Aldo Raines. And like 20 people from all 50 states showed up. I don't mean 20 people from each state. I mean, some states didn't have a representative. Entire states did not have a representative for the white supremacist movement. Okay? God, it's a good thing a good thing for the leader of the white supremacist community that he doesn't read BuzzFeed, I imagine, because, he would have rented out the Staples Center in LA and half the hotels. But these people really thought history is that bad, that we are that bad as a group of people, that they keep rewriting. Yeah, I'm a woman. I am the 1,638 woman to be starring in a movie in the last 10 years. Take that, men! Because whether they believe, I think people like Rachel Zegler actually believe it, because they were raised, they grew up during this false narrative, during this rewriting of history. And that's why every text and tweet from her is just so nasty. It's just so, I hope all men die, I hate white people, straight people, go to hell. Everything. That's your new Snow White. Oh, but Peter Dinklage cost 7 dwarves their job. Only he can play a dwarf in movies, evidently. Yeah, so this is going to be Sand Brown and the 7 not dwarfs. Awesome. Because they don't want to alienate dwarfs by giving them work, and Snow White, named that because of her white skin, is going to be Colombian, I believe. Anyway, Red Sonja, though, that one I'm really looking for. They did a great job on the casting. Red Sonja, for those of you who don't know, which apparently you don't, apparently people aren't watching movies pre-2016 now, which is kind of sad. She was a 6-foot barbarian woman, had a big 5-foot long sword that she would kill just hordes of men with. She was Conan's equal. Big flowing red hair, pale skin, because she was depicted as Eastern European. And so they cast a 5'5" Nigerian woman, and they will not be dyeing her hair red. Yeah. Anyway, I got no problem with black people being in movies, obviously. I know quite a few. Obviously, I wouldn't be such a goddamn Beverly Hills Cop fan, and Predator 2 fan, and Predator 1 fan, and Lethal Weapon fan if I cared. But you're literally doing this not for diversity, but just to do like Lily Singh and say, "Ha, white man, how do you like that? We changed another one of your white characters to a not white character. We're redoing Avengers, but gay, because fuck straight people." You like that? We made He-Man, Bitch Man, and gave the show to all the girls in the movie and made him a bumbling moron, just like Luke Skywalker. And if you don't like it, you're part of the problem. If you did your research and you read the tweets from Anastasia, instead of just going with the narrative we were trying to push, that women are staying and fighting and not fleeing with the men, staying and fleeing, not fighting with the men, then you're also part of the problem. Knowing facts make you part of the problem. And that's it. That's the depressing Saturday morning episode.